Last week was a busy week, but most of it was on the road. This week, it's also busy, but a lot of it's here at home, so looking forward to that. Also really looking forward to the fact that it is Hall of Fame week here at UCA. Do we have any Hall of Famers here today? Yeah. Knew we'd have a few. So this Saturday morning, we will be inducting 7 new members into the Hall of Fame. Dr. Bill Bandy will go in for meritorious service, Troy Brown for track and field, Holly Fowler for women's soccer, Gary Huggins for football and coaching, Shane McConnell and Daryl McCree for football, and Joanne Velasquez for softball. Thanks. Let's see, Josey hadn't made it yet. Let's talk a little bit about women's soccer. The Bears went on the road for 2 ASUN matches this past week. Last Thursday, the Bears traveled to Eastern Kentucky, lost that match 1-0 despite outshooting Eastern Kentucky 28-19 on the day. A.K. Harrell made 9 saves in goal for the Bears. On Sunday, they traveled over to Bellarmine, won that match 3-1. Caroline Billings, Leah Deuce Madsen, and Trace Pavat scored goals for the Bears. Sophia Backstrom had 2 of the assists. And then goalkeeper Hannah Hargrave had the other assist for the Bears. That's unusual, goalkeeper getting an assist. Long punt, I guess. And she also had 8 saves on the game. Next up, the Bears will be at home this week, continuing ASUN play. They'll have Lipscomb on Thursday night, who's currently sitting in first place. Thursday night at 7 p.m., and then on Sunday they'll have Austin P. That kickoff is set for 1 p.m. Volleyball also started their ASUN schedule this week. This past week they played 2 matches in the Print Center. Sugar Bears beat Lipscomb on Friday night, sweeping them 3-0. Lipscomb was picked to finish first in the ASUN preseason polls, so big win for the Sugar Bears. Yeah. Go ahead, Eric. Gabby Tuyana led the team with 12 kills while hitting .600. Lacey Bohannon had 9 kills, and Samantha Cousins had 8 kills in that sweep. Then on Sunday, the Sugar Bears also swept Austin P. In this one, Gabby had another 10 kills, and Lacey added another 9 kills for the Sugar Bears. This week, welcome North Alabama to the Print Center on Wednesday night. That one's at 6 p.m. start. And then the Sugar Bears travel down to Florida, Jacksonville, to play North Florida on Saturday at noon. Men's golf. And they went down and played in the GMAC Invitational in Alabama at the Limestone Springs Golf Club. The Bears finished tied for 4th place in that match, just four strokes behind the winner. The winner was North Alabama. Leopold, Israntant, and Vukasin Sertovic both shot 1 under for the Bears to lead the team. The team had the best scoring average on par 3s for the tournament and shot 47 birdies on the 2-day tournament. Next up, the Bears are going to play in Jonesboro in the Bubba Barnett Intercollegiate on October 6th and 7th. Moving on to women's golf. Women's golf played in the Red Raider Invitational on the Rawls course in Texas at Texas Tech. The Bears finished in 5th place. Texas Tech, the host, won the tournament on their own course. Next week, the Bears will travel up to Lawrence, Kansas to compete in the Maryland Smith Sunflower Invitational. Now, for the first time ever, let's hear from Coach Summar Roachell. She talks about her team.
Didn't expect to go first, but super excited to be here first time here at the Bearbackers. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Summar Roachell. I'm from right here in Conway, grew up right down the street. Super excited 3rd year to coach the women's golf team. Like Jeremy said, we just got back from the Red Raider Invitational. Really proud of our girls' performance there compared to the first week. Completely different conditions than what we had. Course played very tough. windy, just a really tough test for us. But I think the thing I was most proud of is just their fight and their ability to stay the course. We had one of our girls that she got her bag out of her travel bag the first round before the practice round, and her driver and her 3-wood had been snapped in half in travel. So imagine showing up. It was her first tournament as a Bear. She had transferred in. It was her first event, and having that happen. She actually finished low for us for the week. She finished top 20. We ran around town, got her some different shafts, but that just kind of shows what our team is about. Is we handle adversity really well, and they showed that this week. Our team this year has a lot more depth than we've had in the past. It's made qualifying very competitive and very challenging, made my job challenging, make sure we have the right 5 on the bus. But I think that, right now we're going through the middle of qualifying for our next event, and we've got 8 of our 10 girls shot 74 or less yesterday. So very deep roster. Super excited to see how that plays out for us as the season goes. Like I said, we are going to Kansas. I've made a very tough schedule for us this fall. I don't want us to get to the spring and have conference being our hardest tournament of the year. I want to prepare us early so that once we get to conference, we've played tough golf courses. We have had to compete at a really high level to be in it every week. And I think that, I look at our team now playing in these bigger tournaments versus a year or two ago, and they show up and they feel like they belong there. And I think that's a really important, the mental side of it is when you step up on the first tee, you feel like you belong with these teams and that you can go compete at a very high level. So I'm excited to see what we do. We played pretty well at Kansas last year. We'll have maybe a third new lineup this week. So, but that just goes back to the depth, and I'm excited to see how our girls keep handling the competition and prepare for these next couple tournaments. I knew there would be someone that had a question. I got forewarned. All right.
How do you go about recruiting your student athletes?
So right now our team is about 50-50 international versus Americans. For the internationals, I've got about 3 different people across the world that I really trust to help me get players that are going to be the right fit for us. So have conversations with them, sit down with them, tell them the exact type of person and the type of player that I want in our program. And, as they're, gathering their players, they send me who they think would be a good fit. Then it's on me to go, through the process and make sure the conversations, that whole piece. I have 3 girls from Arkansas right now, so Arkansas has been a big piece of that. And then I think just getting on the road, in Texas and Oklahoma, we've got some visits coming up with some really great Americans. And so, I always say that to me, it doesn't matter if you're local, American, international. If I feel like you're going to be a good fit here, then I want to make sure we bring you in and see if it's going to work out.
Thank you.
Are you having the same problem in golf that we have in a lot of other sports where you take into these bigger meets, the Power 5, people see them, and then next year if they're playing in the Power 5, is that a problem that's happening in golf?
I think that it is a problem that's happening in golf. I don't think that we have seen that quite yet. But at the end of the day, I want our girls to go and compete and perform well. If a school comes after them because they've performed well, I feel like I've done my job to prepare them to play at a high level. We haven't seen that yet. I'm not saying that we won't see that, but you do see that in some other schools around. But I want to make sure they're playing the best competition, the best courses that they can every single week. So if the end of that comes with them getting plucked, I just try to prepare them the best we can every week. Any more questions?
Ryder Cup style for qualifying this week?
We did do a Ryder Cup tournament. We didn't do it for qualifying, but we did have with it being 50-50, we were able to have a Ryder Cup match. It got pretty intense. You could hear yelling all around the golf course, so I had to warn some of the members that was going to happen. But it was just great. It's great to see the girls enjoying coming to practice, and it's still being super productive, but I don't know that they got much done other than watching the Ryder Cup this weekend, that's for sure. Thank you very much.
Cross country had a race last week. Coach Weaver's been ducking in, working with recruits, cross country recruits, track recruits.
Cross country, yep.
Male, female,
A little bit of
fast.
real fast.
All right, good. Both the men's and the women's team traveled up to Columbia, Missouri for the Gaines Creek Classic on the 17th. And then both teams are going to be heading down to the Crimson Classic on October 17th in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Let's hear from Coach Josey Weaver.
Yeah, got a little bit more to talk about this time versus the last time I was up here. In my mind, our season now has started. We talk as a team and always make it known that October 1st is really that first week that things start to matter on the national scene and the point scoring. We got to go up to Gaines Creek. They just happen to be the same, the school at Mizzou. They're hosting the NCAA championship, so we got to run on the national championship course. Because of that, we saw everybody in the country, from Oregon, Florida, Nebraska. I mean, you name it. It was anybody that's decent at cross country was there. We're young on the women's side. We're fairly young on the men's side in terms of our top five. We got to learn a lot and took some valuable lessons away from that. To start with, on the men's race, we walked away from that major championship race with 4 out of the 7 PRing. That's unheard of in a championship race when you've got 450 runners at a starting line. It's a dead sprint for a half a mile, and then it just becomes jumbled, and it stays that way for probably at least the first mile and a half before you can actually move and have some space. Really proud with Trey Baker. He was an outstanding freshman for us last year. He dropped his lifetime PR by about 35 seconds. Jack Dingman ran number 1 for us. That's not a surprise. I wish we could get him back. JT, if you want to see if we can find some eligibility. I mean, 7th years, that's normal, right, in the NCAA. We'd love to get him back. This is his last year. He ran like it. He's been leading for us up front. Really excited with where we come away. Team result-wise, we got beat by North Alabama, but the difference in a championship race versus a conference race, there's way less numbers. They've got 2 Kenyan athletes that are really talented that ran up front. Their Kenyan number 1 runner put about 100 points on my number 1 runner, where at the conference meet there won't be a total of about 75 runners in the whole race. So I really like where we are right now and trending for the conference meet on the men's side. On the women's side, we're young. We've got in basically half of our team is brand new, and I didn't know how they would handle it. But probably one of the most exciting races I've been a part of here at UCA for cross country. Through the halfway point, I'm looking at the live updates on the phone, and I'm like, wow, we're in 5th place in this whole race right now. Like, we're getting ready to take down some powerhouses, and it's going to be a good day. We get to 5K. We dropped a little bit. We're in 8th, and I'm like, wow, this is still going to be a great day. The last 1,000 meters of that race, we looked like freshmen, and we went from 8th or 9th, I believe, all the way to 15th. So still knocked off a lot of teams there with it being about a 36-team field. But I was so proud of our freshmen for being brave enough to stick their nose in it and to not back down. It's exciting for me to see. I think we'll grow a lot from now till Alabama 3 weeks down the road. The course was muddy. It was nasty. And if you know anything about me, I pray for days like this early in the season. I always say, like, I hope everything goes wrong, because if it does, then we'll be pretty prepared when the day comes that everything goes right. So I was preaching to them the night before about how, we are Central Arkansas. We don't have a locker room that scans our face and opens up and blows smoke in the air and says how good we are. Like, that's not us, and we don't want that. That's not who I am as a coach. So we took a chip on our shoulder in there, and I think we represented in a positive way. On the recruiting side, it's been a busy month. Sorry I was late today. That's where I was, trying to get us one to commit. We've gotten 5 men committed for next year right now. We've got 2 women. If I could bring all 7 with me to Alabama in 3 weeks, I'd bring every one of them with me right now. If we could figure that out, JT, how to get them there early. Any enrollment early classes. We're really gearing up for what's ahead. Our new conference that we're going into, we're having to look at that right now when it comes to recruiting and change how we build our team slightly. So we're trying to win an ASUN championship this year and also get ready to try to go win a UAC championship the following year. So it's a very unique time in our sport and with our school, but we seem to be doing a good job in that. I'll let you know after Alabama how that goes. I might try to get in here even the week before, and we'll hopefully be ready to line up and finish the race like we should, but really excited with where we are right now. Any questions?
Any comments on Maddie? 'Cause it looked like she had a really good race.
She's solid. Like, looking back, obviously she came with me from East Carolina. I don't know if I've ever seen her run bad. I mean, she's had some good days and some great days. She's just someone that when you know that she's wearing your uniform, you can count on her to show up. She's a big reason I think that our young ones on the women's team are growing up. I'd love to take credit for that, but it's amazing sometimes when your team says something, how it means a lot more than when you as a coach say something. And I'm lucky to have her leadership right now. She did. She had a great day. I wouldn't be surprised if she's running in that front pack and breaking up some of the Lipscomb girls at the conference meet. I wish we would have got to race EKU. I don't know if Coach Erdman watches this or not. If he does, he might text me here in a minute. But they were supposed to be there on the women's side. They didn't show up. Their men showed up. I don't know why. I don't know if they're battling some injuries or whatnot, but they're a really good team, and we were looking forward to seeing where we could stack up against them. But they'll be tough to beat at the ASUN championships. But we're a lot better with Madeline running up front like she is right now. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Did the women go out too fast? Is that why they faded at the end because they weren't used to running in a big pack like that?
Yeah, so that's what I thought when I looked at results, but looking at it even more, all the women that faded, this was their first ever 6,000-meter race. I think we broke a little mentally more than physically. It's amazing. You add 3 minutes and 40 seconds. It's just a little bit more time to think. And Gans Creek, it's a beautiful course. Every 1,000 meters on the course, they have like this rock wall built, TV screen, shows you what your time is. The problem for that is when they got to 5,000 meters, and I think they thought a year ago I was done right now. Like, this is as far as we're allowed to run in high school. That last K hurt us a little bit. But I think I do think we can handle it. With Lydia Butler, Arizona Blankenship, she's a true freshman. She actually did have a great day. She ran number 2 for us overall. She's probably the one young one that showed up. But I'll be excited for Alabama. Alabama's a little bit less hilly. That will also help us. And we go to Jacksonville for ASUN, so it'll be hot down there. So we were actually blessed with a hot day at Missouri, and that'll help down the road as well. Yeah. Anything else? Awesome. Go Bears.
Started ASUN play at Queens in North Carolina. The match ended in a 1-1 draw. Maxim Sheenkov scored the goal for the Bears. Abby Gomez had the assist, and Merrick Cook played all 90 minutes in goal, making 5 saves. Up next, the Bears traveled to Oral Roberts for a 7 p.m. kickoff on Tuesday, and then return home to ASUN play on Sunday. They'll play Bellarmine here at 4 o'clock. Now let's hear from Coach Kyle Segebart.
Shinkov, you got it. Great job.
Sheenkov.
Shinkov, yeah. Yeah, maybe might have to have the coaches start pronouncing the name so we can nail it. Yeah, so great result on the road. I say great result. Everybody, who enjoys ties, no one enjoys ties, but to get a 1-1 draw on the road against a very tough opponent in Queens, who over the past 4 games have given up 1 goal, right? They've won their games 1-0. They have a historic result against Clemson earlier this year where they won 1-0. Played NC State right before us, a couple days before, where they lost 1-0. So we knew we were going into an opponent who's very tough defense. So for us to get a result, or to get our 3rd goal in 3 games against them, was great resolve for the team, being down 1-0 early, coming back, fighting through the rain and everything that was involved there. But yeah, still got a great result. We're still a little banged up in terms of injuries. We did get one back. Omar Atia was able to put in 70 minutes for us. So he's still on his way, trending back to 90. I haven't played majority of the minutes in the first part of the season. And then we still got two more defenders that we're hoping to get back before our ASUN match, Bellarmine, on Sunday. Senior leadership is a big one going into this game. We asked our seniors to speak to the new players on the team, whether they're transfers, whether they're freshmen in the team, about what it's like to start in their first ASUN game and how these games are different. Basically, a new season begins. And I thought they did a great job really laying out what it was going to look like, how the game was going to go, ebb and flow, and then their performances on the night were there as well. Alex Kiss has been asked to play in a role that's not traditionally what his strengths are, but he's coming up big for us in the back, winning his duels, possession rate out of the back looks really good right now. Kaisei Matsudo took big steps in the spring for us last year. He's now starting at center back for us. An animal out of the air. If you come out and watch him play, attacking balls out of the back, which was something for Queens is a highlight for them. They'll hit the ball longer and probably more than, well, maybe not more than Bellarmine, but they will hit the ball long and try to challenge you physically in those duels, and our guys were up for that fight on the night, so very excited about where those are. And then obviously getting a goal, Max's first goal for us in the program. He's had a rough go this year. He did his ACL a year and a half ago, missed season last year, came back in the spring, ready to go in preseason. Then he finds out before he comes over that his permanent residency in Spain was up, and he had to wait to get that approved. So he had to fly back mid-season when we played Missouri State, get it taken care of, come back. So he's had a little bit of a rough go. So for him to finally get into the team, be ready to go and get a goal is exciting to see. Now we have another piece to the puzzle that we can add to the attack, to help us get some results here in the ASUN. Coming up, quick turnaround against Oral Roberts. Won't be an easy game going there. We have to, obviously, both teams will have an eye on conference play on the weekend, so we'll see how the rotations work out there, but I think we can get after them with the pieces that we have available. So excited to see what we can do tomorrow night. And then finally, we'll have Bellarmine coming here on Sunday, who got a 3-0 result against Lipscomb over the weekend. So they've got 3 points. We're both tied. Queens and us are tied on 1 point going into the first round, and then Lipscomb's with 0 at the moment. So getting a result at home, getting 3 points at home would be massive for us in the conference, is that would shoot us straight to the top if, kind of moving forward. Questions? Anything we want to learn about the team, where we're at right now, going into the weekend? Good? All right. Thank you so much. Go Bears.
Football traveled down to Lamar University for Saturday night's matchup with the Cardinals. Came down to the wire. Heartbreaking end. Austin Myers passed to the end zone to win the game with seconds left, fell incomplete. Bears made a huge comeback, scoring 15 unanswered points in the fourth quarter. Had the ball back, like I said, with plenty of time to win the game. Austin Myers threw for 358 yards and 3 touchdowns. Landon Chambers rushed for 137 yards and 1 touchdown. Arlie Lee had 114 yards receiving and 1 touchdown. Malachi Henry had another 113 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns, one of those with one hand. It's a pretty incredible catch. Dylan Williams led the defense with 15 tackles. Ashton Williams had a big interception in the end zone. Travion Traylor and Kyle Vokey both had big sacks in the game. Next up, the Bears return to UAC play, be here at home on Hall of Fame weekend on Saturday at 4 p.m. Let's hear from head coach Nathan Brown.
Yeah, first thing I want to do is recap Saturday. Disappointed in the loss. We knew it was going to be a tough road trip. I mean, look, Lamar's done a good job down there at building their program up. Coaching staff, I said last week, was one of the more solid coaching staffs we face every year. Very sound in the way they teach, very sound in the way they have fundamentals within their program. But look, we had a bad first 5 minutes of the game and a bad first 5 minutes of the second half, and that was the difference in the football game. You get down 14-0 with 5 minutes, basically 5 minutes into the clock. You take away a couple of those plays. And whether you take away a touchdown, you make one of them a field goal, whatever it is, or you create a score to match in our first two drives, you feel a lot better about the front part of the game. Same thing happened in the second half. I thought the second half from the end of the first half with 2 minutes and 30-something seconds left, going for it on fourth down, converting it, but fumbling it on the way down. As far as the review goes. And then them turning that into points, and then basically they scored 21 unanswered in the next 5 minutes of the second half. So that's twice that we're down by multiple scores and battle back. We came back. We scored 17 unanswered in the first half. Right, we took the lead 17-14, had the ball to go up right before halftime, or at least keep the ball up until halftime, so we take the lead at half. We weren't able to do that. The fumble was the result of that. And then, as Jeremy mentioned, down, you score 15 unanswered in the fourth quarter. Big 2-point conversion to get us within 10. Then we take it down and score another touchdown there with about 4 or 5 minutes left in the game. Stop them quick and get the ball back with an opportunity. And just didn't have enough time on the clock when it was all said and done. A couple things hurt us. I believe on that drive. One, having to take a timeout on an injury. I didn't want a 10-second runoff. Didn't have the time to spare. I had 2 timeouts. I had to use one. Didn't want that. The time was more precious than the timeout at that point because of where we were at on the field. We were still on the minus side of the field, probably on the minus 28, 30 range. So I thought the 10-second runoff would be more deterrent to us, so I took the timeout. Second thing was on the last sequence, the last 4-down sequence, taking the sack on second down. That forced the second time or the third timeout I had to take, and really kind of pushed us into a position where we were going to have to probably get another 8 to 10 yards to be comfortable with Caleb kicking a field goal. Just doesn't have the strongest leg right now as a freshman. Very accurate. Obviously made one earlier in the game. He's 100% on the season on field goals. But we felt like we needed to get that ball for a game-tying field goal around the 30 to 32-yard line. Weren't quite able to do that. So the decision on fourth down was, hey, we got to take a shot. It's a desperation shot. I didn't think we'd had enough time to throw something underneath, try to get the first down on fourth down, or get the first down and have time to clock it with the amount of time that was on the play. Had a shot in the end, just not quite enough. Very proud of some individual performances. It was good to get Austin Myers back. Going into week 1, you guys know he had a non-contact injury that basically broke an outside bone of his foot, and so he's been nursing that for about a month. Been really working hard at it. Decided not to do the surgery route, which would have for sure kept him out 8 to 9 weeks. Decided to rehab it, working in a boot, constantly treatment on it, and felt pretty comfortable throughout the week last week, and that's why we went with Austin there pretty quick in the game. You can see what he can be. I mean, Austin's played. Here's the funny thing is he's yet to start a game at UCA. He came in last year spelling Will McIlvain, our starter at Eastern Kentucky last year. Took us down. He had 3 series in that game and had 2 scoring possessions on those 3 series at Eastern Kentucky. Then he gets hurt with a broken clavicle on his shoulder, so he's out for the rest of the year last year. He's going into this season, poised, competing with Luther Richardson. Both of them have great camps, great spring, great summers. And he has the unfortunate injury that broke his foot out on the practice field before the season even started. So it is good to get him out there. It's good to see him get through a game. He's still got a hurt foot. That's what was amazing about the other night. He's had limited reps. The only reps he got last week was with second-team reps because we weren't sure whether he was how his foot would respond. And so he took second-team reps all week, and that was really the first reps he had gotten since August, the end of August. So for him to go out and perform like he did, you could see that he knows our offense. He executes it fast. He knows where to go with the ball. He's got great ball handling, but he made some first game mistakes. If he had 3 or 4 balls back, the first interception on the plus 32, our Tyrell Pollard runs a read route. He does a great job reading coverage. Just set it down. Austin read something different, and he threw an easy interception in the end zone. That just comes with play. That comes with practicing with your players and your teammates. He hadn't had that for over a month, and so he took some lumps. He made some mistakes. But man, the way he competed. I don't know about any of y'all. I mean, maybe some of you old timers have played with a broken bone in a game. I know I have. I had a broken thumb and played with it when I was a player. It ain't easy. His adrenaline took over, and that dude's a warrior. And the way that he gave us a chance to win that game was pretty amazing. And I can't wait to watch him grow from that week to this week, barring any type of setback that I don't anticipate. So excited about that. Landon Chambers, he touched the ball 35 times. Look, he's going to have to touch the ball 35 times a game. Kid's special. We're banged up at running back. Cam Young was out with a knee injury. Jalen Washington was out with a groin injury. So we were down to basically Landon Chambers, Chapman McCown, who got some good reps the other night, transferred from Oklahoma, number 29, and then some freshmen. So Landon had to take a bulk of the reps and did a great job. You saw what Arlie Lee can be. Kid's special. Kid's unique. Kid's a matchup nightmare. He's just got to stay healthy. I mean, the kid just seems like he's made of glass sometimes, and when he's healthy, he's elite. And when I say elite, like he's got one-on-one ability like LaJuan Winningham and Tyler Hudson. I've seen it. I've seen it firsthand. The kid can do it. And then obviously we know what Malachi is, and Malachi performed like we expected him to. Ty Durham had some big catches. So offensively, did some good things. We had 517 yards, I think, of total offense. Great job. Defensively, we did a great job holding them yardage-wise. We just gave up too many big plays early in the game. It's like I've got to figure out how to start the game faster. As a coach, you're constantly evolving, you're constantly thinking, you're constantly growing. We've got to start faster. Our offense, defense, every bit of us. And we held them to 293 yards. So we outgained these guys by 220 yards and lost the game. And that's the frustrating part about this trip is you go to a top 25 opponent. You have a chance. You got them on their heels. I mean, you play good football. You just make just enough mistakes against a good football team to not come back with a win. So that's frustrating. But again, you saw growth and you saw a spark and you saw something in our team. I think that maybe wasn't there the prior 2 weeks for whatever reason. And so that's encouraging. Here's what I'm gonna say. As I was. A lot of evaluation when you're making that trip back from Beaumont. You're up here all Sunday. You're preparing for Utah Tech, all that stuff. You guys have heard me many times talk about how sports is humbling. Like it's a humbling deal, man. So sports is humbling. So I'm sitting there thinking, well, let's rewind a year ago right now. I'm standing up here and we're 4-1, should be 5-0 in the Arkansas State game, ranked 6th in the country. You fast forward a year and we're 1-4. And we've lost to 4 top 25 teams, and it's tough, it's not easy. But here's what I do. So what do you do as a professional? You seek advice. I've never been through this as a coach. Y'all got me? Like this is new to me. I mean, 2009, that was my first year coaching. We kind of went through something like this, and I was young and dumb then. I didn't have a clue what coaches did, but this is new to me. So how do you get through this? What do you do? How do you react to it? How do you respond to it? So 2 people I talked to. 1, the smartest person I know, my wife, and then two, one of the greats to ever play at UCA and one of the best coaches in the country right now. You talk to Coach Norvell. He went through it last year. So getting a text conversation with him. All he says is just, you're doing it right. Keep being you. It'll turn. I promise. He's just simple stuff. So when you get affirmation from people that matter, I mean, that's a big deal. And so listen, just taking some things from Mike and what he did and how he handled it. And he never got over the hump last year. I mean, he won 1 game last year. He was he was turning down the Alabama job and the year before and should have been in the national playoffs. And the next year, can he even coach? No, he didn't. He didn't change who he was. Just bad luck, maybe a little bit of deficiency in some spots, but he kept being him. And now he's got Florida State back to being a top 25 program again. Pretty cool deal, right? We all support Mike. We want Mike to succeed. That's our guy, right? Pretty neat deal. Then the second one is I talk to the smartest person I know, and I'm like, hey, what do you see? And Jessica's like, hey, here's what I see. You're built for this. You got roots. Take the black eye. If you didn't have roots, you'd already been blown away. So it's okay to be. It's okay to fight and have adversity. You just got to get through it. Again, sports is humbling. You can be on the top 1 minute and you're at the bottom the next minute, and you don't even know why. You're like, man, I think we've got the guys. I think the ball just didn't bounce in our way, or it just snowballs on you, or whatever it is. Or, man, if Austin don't get hurt early in the year, what does he look like by week 5, right? I mean, there's just all, you can go through these snakes in your head, and it ain't worth it. You know what I'm saying? It ain't worth it. And so we're going to be fine. And you see fight, and here's what you can be excited about. Those guys didn't quit. If you'd have been on our sideline, and I know some people, Matt was there was some guys, I mean, they wanted it, and they fought, and so, you go through a schedule like we've gone through to this point, and it doesn't matter. We want wins. Doesn't matter who you play, where you go. Look, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what they have. It really doesn't. We want wins, right? Austin, you played here. You want wins as a Bear. That's part of it. But you look at the schedule, and you can hang your head high. 4 losses to top 25 teams. You fought 4 losses, and the 2 games, Lamar, you're a little more level with them. You had a shot to win the game on the road, and so that's I'm talking to you guys like I'm talking to my players, instilling hope, because those guys are working hard. They know they're right there, and so we've got to turn the page, and we've got to react and respond in a positive way. That's the way life works. That's the way football works, and again, like I said, this is new uncharted territory for me. So I'm learning on the fly too. And so there's days where I told our players the other day, I said don't allow me to change. You know what I'm saying? Make sure I'm consistent. If I don't have people hold me accountable to be consistent, who am I? Don't let the 1-4 record or things that aren't going your way harden you to the point of being someone you're not. I mean, that's where you don't want to get. So I'm excited about the future. Our whole conference schedule's ahead of us. I mean, come on. You know what I'm saying? Our whole conference schedule's ahead of us. We're in the thick of a tough stretch right here. I mean, crap, we have 5 weeks, 4 on the road. You know what I'm saying? We hit the first 2. Thank God we're at home. And then we got 2 more road games before we're back at Estes. I mean, 4 and 5 weeks is tough. And so we've got to figure out how to weather the back end of this little stretch. Because I looked at the schedule, when you prep the season out, you look and you kind of project and all that stuff. That's what coaches do. This was a chunk of the schedule that was concerning. Whatever happened the first couple weeks, you knew this stretch would be tough, just because you're of the road trip opportunities. So, look, we got to turn the page fast. Utah Tech's a 1-4 football team too. They don't play a money game, so they don't have an FBS opponent this year. But they played a very competitive FCS schedule. They played UC Davis, they played Idaho, they played Northern Arizona, they played Northern Iowa out of the Missouri Valley. I mean, those guys are battle tested. They played Austin Peay in their first conference game last Saturday. So they played a tough schedule too. They've been in every game they played. A very well coached team as well. Their coach has done a good job turning that program around quickly. They're competitive. I mean, you can see that they're creating change there. And so, that team that you saw last year, this is not the same group. They brought in a good chunk of transfers, some new players. They've kind of overhauled their roster, like many teams do. And you kind of have to do it at this point in the college football world. So it's going to be a competitive battle. They got a good, talented quarterback that can extend plays. We're going to have to play good football. But I need to start fast. We need to start our first half and second half starting has got to be better, and that's going to help us when it's all said and done. You take out the first 5 minutes of about every game this year, including UAPB. That could have been worse if we played better. Then you've got a better chance of winning football games. So we're gonna emphasize that in practice. We're gonna emphasize that in meeting time. We're gonna figure out a way to get going quicker in all 3 phases of the game. So looking forward to Saturday. Hall of Fame weekend's a big deal around here. I know you get to see familiar names and faces and honor the past, and we all, at least if you're in here, I know you honor the past. That's why you're here. So very excited about that and excited to get on the stripes, play another home game. With that being said, any questions? Dr. Bradley?
I think what taller. He seems to have more vision downfield because of the height situation. It seemed like he saw more of what was happening all over the field. Not that the first gentleman, was that bad a player, but I think size made a difference here.
Yeah, Austin's got really good fundamentals. If you watch the way he carries himself in the pocket, he's one of the better, really probably one of the better quarterbacks I've coached within the pocket. And when you have a quarterback with pocket presence, you can negate athletic ability all day. I mean, if you got Phil in the pocket and you've got good ball handling with some of our action game that we run, you can really create some lanes. And I thought Austin did a good job of that the other night, and really just playing fast. I mean, look, he was sticking the ball in that running back's gut and pulling it and getting the ball out in like 1.5 seconds. I mean, if you put a clock on it, it was like in the receiver's hand in under 2 seconds. I mean, that stuff, you can win doing that, and it's hard to defend that. So I just got to keep him triggering on all cylinders when it comes to that. I mean, we're gonna coach the mess out of him. We're gonna get him ready to go because again, we got to protect him a little bit between us. I mean, he's still got a little bum foot. He's 5 weeks out of it. So some of the run game that he might have when he's fully healthy might not be there. So we've got to manufacture some different stuff, whether it's pitches with the running back or swing passes or whatever it is to negate the quarterback run game. So yeah, I'm pleased with that, and I think that's a good assessment, Dr. Bradley. Cheney?
Number 30, Sanders is a hoss.
Who?
Number 30,
Yeah.
he's a hoss.
Yeah, we got a lot of hosses.
He can run now. Give him a hole, he'll score.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. He's hard to take down, and I assume you're talking about number 0.
Oh, 0, I'm sorry.
Because I was thinking Buck Cobbs don't run the ball.
I've had a hard day, I can't remember stuff, forgive me. 0, I'm sorry.
You know I love you, Cheney. Yeah, Landon's special. He's a unique skill set, and I'll be honest, like I said, I mean, like in what world in this college football world does a kid touch the ball 35, 36 times? I mean, it just doesn't happen very often. And so, and he's such a sweet kid. I mean, gosh, he's a sweetheart. He's been waiting for this opportunity because we've had a deep backfield in the past couple of years, and he's kind of waited, and he hadn't left. He's talented enough to leave, but he didn't leave, and he's reaping the fruits of his labor, and that's pretty cool,
Praise the Lord, he didn't leave.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I loved on him hard, man. Jim?
Coach, last week you talked about needing a spark. I think you found one in your quarterback.
When you can feel something, like it's and look, I haven't been shy what I think about Austin. I mean, I haven't. I think I just hadn't seen him do it, consistently, right? I would have loved to seen how we would have finished last year if Austin doesn't get injured, even with the McElvain injury, right? But man, he just elevates others. I mean, like part of playing quarterback, isn't even a skill set, is it, Huff Stickler? It's really about elevating others. It's about making others better. And you could see that happen on Saturday a little bit with Austin, I'm proud of him, and I'm looking forward to. I mean, football's humbling. We'll see what he does this week. You know what I mean? Awesome. Everybody good? Awesome. Thank y'all.
How's everybody doing? Good. Well, it's great to see everyone. Coach Roachell, great to have you here today. Going on a road trip, and you get there and 2 shafts are broken. I was thinking I could relate to that, but I don't know that I've ever been able to blame it on travel of why a golf shaft was broken. I know you know the feeling too, Justin McCarty. So, hey, great to be here. We're excited about this week ahead. It's been mentioned, it's Hall of Fame weekend. We have a great class going in. There's 7 new inductees this year, so we'll do that Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Again, I mentioned if you are interested in our brunch ceremony, the induction ceremony, please contact Ashley Reba, in our office. Get you some tickets for that. So excited about this week. Volleyball Wednesday night, women's soccer Thursday, Hall of Fame Saturday, 4 p.m. kick, women's soccer and men's soccer this weekend. So with that,
What time's that brunch start?
10 a.m., Cheney. 10 a.m., yes, sir. Thank you so much for being here. Let's have a great week. Go Bears. Go Sugar Bears. Bear claws up.